That's a good job.
Alan Sepinwall from the Newark Star-Ledger. I just read a review on Lucky Louie, and he admitted that there were laughs in it. I want to fucking spit in your fucking face.
Get him on the phone.
Yeah, let's see if we can get him on the phone.
What did he say?
Get him on the phone.
Not just that it was, too much bad language, and he just didn't like. It's just, you fucking cunt. I hate these motherfuckers.
Is it a good review though, or
no? Which you're going to get those too. You're going to get them, but I would still like to smash his.
That would make
face.
me happy, actually.
Why?
Because you're doing the type of show that these asses shouldn't like.
No, you're right.
That's true.
I mean, it still bothers you on a level. I get that.
They like Will and Grace.
But he says things like, granted, if it was nothing else, it was really honest. And and they did seem really poor. Oh, sorry, the language is a little salty, you fucking jerk-off.
It's HBO.
Yeah.
By the way, fines went up 10 times today. FCC 5.
Yeah.
That's good. Get these fucking religious cunts out of office.
Isn't that great?
Doesn't matter now.
That'll never get turned around.
Yeah, you can't be the guy that turns that around.
Yeah, you can't be the guy that his position
it's Anthony's old bit.
Yeah.
If anybody knows Alan Sepinwall at the Newark Star-Ledger.
Well, let's get him on the phone.
They're trying right now.
They're trying right now.
I need the review. Can they print the review? I had one of the interns print out copies of the review.
All right.
Yeah, once a law like that is passed, it's like when they passed the no bottomless law out on Long Island. I remember that. There used to be bottomless dance clubs, man. They're totally nude girls. And some fucking, good do-gooder decides, these girls got to cover up. So it puts the, panties on. And they can still show their tits, but who's the politician that's going to go, and I'm bringing back hairy pussy to Nassau and Suffolk County. I'm the guy that, you can't run on that platform. So you can't be the guy that goes, we need to reduce fines for when people have sex in churches and talk about fucking children.
We need more wiffle ball bats up girl snatches while kids are listening.
If your children hears fuck him up the ass on the radio, we don't want those people to pay that much money.
Say yes to fucking up the ass.
Yeah, there's no taking it back.
So now the fines are 10 times, $325,000.
I do believe that is the maximum fine. It was $35,000. I don't remember ever seeing a $35,000 fine.
By the way, we're making all the articles because it's an AP story. In 2003, when U2 rocker Bono uttered the F word during a live broadcast of an award show on NBC, and former CBS radio DJs Opie and Anthony aired a blah, 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 blah.
It's ridiculous. But I guess it's based on, the fine is based on what you do. If the S word, if you slip out a shit or something on the air and it's unintentional, and someone does complain and they deem it
how many copies you have?
Whatever, it's not going to be $350,000.
Why would there only be one copy?
Why would there be 3 copies for everybody?
Sorry, Anthony. I was distracted because we got one copy. Because
it's going to be, maybe $10,000, something like that.
Who's calling Alan? Have we any word back?
What is the let me see. Did I get it? Oh, I got one now.
Yeah. So what is this?
I'm going to skim.
Should we?
He's not in yet.
Should we highlight? I mean, what are we doing here?
Yeah, let's.
I read like the Dickens. Actually, I'm reading Dickens. What the hell is this? Why haven't I gotten the review? Haha, teasing. It's a literary joke.
The second page is no good.
Yeah. All right. Fucking cretins.
All right, this is Alan Sepinwall.
Sepinwall.
And no accountability. He will not go on our show, I guess.
Oh, we don't know. He's getting a voicemail. So, and if you see his paper on the Newark Star-Ledger, look at his face, and you know exactly why he wrote this. You just look at the guy's face, and he's everything that you just want to bite his chubby, dumb face.
All right. Hold on. Before the review, just a little weird that we got to compete against ourselves. But here's the review on Lucky Louie on HBO. It starts this Sunday at 10:30, starring Lil Jimmy Norton.
Alan Sepinwall.
A father sits at the kitchen table with his adorable 4-year-old daughter who wants to go play outside at 5 a.m. The father says they can't, which triggers 14 or 15 consecutive whys from the daughter as the soundtrack fills with nervous laughter.
Hold on. The laughter wasn't nervous, you dumb cunt. And soundtrack? What does that mean, soundtrack?
What?
There was no nervous laughter. People don't laugh, they're nervous. They laugh if they like it. They don't laugh if they don't like it. And the laughs got bigger towards the end of the bit, stupid.
This is a new ABC sitcom, right? Fox? Maybe something the WB is dumping on the airways before the network ceases to exist? Unfortunately, this is Lucky Louie, HBO's attempt to do a traditional sitcom shot on video in front of a studio audience. Their attempt to do a traditional sitcom?
He means a 3-camera suit or whatever I don't know what he means.
Oh my God, I'm reading deeper than you.
All right, let's go. It's the sort of thing that makes you wonder whether the cable channel is looking to change its motto. Hey, you know what? It really is TV. What?
When you see this guy, Alan Sepinwall, from the Newark Star-Ledger, when you see his fat face, you know exactly why I hate him more than I've hated anybody in 5 years.
Louis C.K., a comedian who's written for Saturday Night Live and The Chris Rock Show, plays Louis, a mechanic who works part-time because wife Kim makes more money and gets benefits from her nursing job, and because somebody has to watch little Lucy. Throughout the early portions of Lucky Louie, Sunday 10:30 on HBO, I kept wondering if it was a spoof, someone's idea of what a 3-camera sitcom might look like on HBO. Cheap punchlines mixed with 4-letter words, stock situations given an R rating.
Well, so cheap punchlines? Your pussy is a chamber of financial ruin? Is a fucking cheap punchline, you dumb fat-faced motherfucker? Mixed with 4-letter words? Well, yeah, you're supposed to mix them with 4-letter words. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, and yet after a while I found myself warming, however slightly, to the show.
Just slightly, huh, Mr. Sepinwall?
Slightly.
Just a slight warming from Alan Sepinwall.
If nothing else, I admire its honesty. Kim and Louie seem genuinely poor. Their apartment is a dive with no decorations and rotting walls, instead of the usual TV conception of poor, where you get to have a giant loft apartment in Soho. Boring. And after years of watching one awful sitcom after another try to ape Seinfeld or Friends with some kind of sniggering double entendre or innuendo about something they can't sneak past the censors, it's almost refreshing to hear certain activities described in the plainest and crudest manner possible. So that's kind of a positive spin.
But it's the way people... Why does it have to be the crudest manner possible when that's the way people talk?
When Kim catches Louie doing that thing that put George Costanza's mother in the hospital, or when he realizes she only wants to have sex to get pregnant, there's no pussyfooting around the topic, no smirking attempt to prove just how clever the writers can be at avoiding an FCC fine.
All right.
On the other hand, a little honesty can go a long way. A later episode features 3 fairly graphic, albeit non-nude sex scenes between the couple. Between those scenes and Vito's leather get-up on The Sopranos, I'm thinking about filing a lawsuit against HBO for emotional battery. That, or I'm filing a workman's comp claim for post-traumatic stress disorder. But while I'll admit the bluntness of Lucky Louie made me laugh more than, say, your average episode of George Lopez, there's still no excuse for it being on HBO. Despite the Deadwood-esque language, its rhythms are too conventionally sitcom-y, and the occasional chuckle isn't worth the long, painful patches. The opening "Why" scene with Louie and Lucy plays out like one of those Letterman running gags that starts off funny, that then gets annoying, then becomes so annoying that it's funny again. Only it's never, at any point, funny. This guy doesn't understand comedy.
He's a dumb piece
I saw
of shit.
the debut episode of Lucky Louie. I laughed pretty damn hard.
Here it is.
Ever since Sex and the City left and The Sopranos approached its own end, HBO has been going through a midlife crisis, the sort that usually leads to flashy sports cars and hair plugs. Those 2 shows raised the bar almost impossibly high.
City. You fucking faggot.
Faggot!
Sex in the City.
Those 2 shows raised the bar almost impossibly high for a pay cable outfit, and you can see the channel casting about in search of something the audience may want to watch nearly as much as The Adventures of Carrie Bradshaw.
The Adventures of Carrie Bradshaw
and Tony Soprano.
Speaking of Tony Soprano, fuck my asshole.
Elaborate period. Yeah, you can go with it. Fuck it.
Nah, I already said it. Yeah, all right. See, out of context, the whole thing didn't make sense. Fuck.
Elaborate period dramas haven't really worked. Neither have inside showbiz comedies. Maybe they tried Lucky Louie as an attempt to reach out to the sort of mass audience that watches traditional network sitcoms. The problem is that audience is pretty much extinct, and the most successful new network comedies of last year, NBC's My Name is Earl and The Office, look a lot like the sort of thing HBO might have tried a few years ago. What's next? Does Jerry Bruckheimer cut a deal with HBO to do a cut a deal with HBO to do a forensics procedural.
Now, what I want to find out is if this guy thinks My Name is Earl and The Office are the cutting-edge comedies, or I don't know what he's saying. Because if he says The Office, I'll fucking grab his fat Seppenwall cunt face and bite it. It's a stolen show, you dumb motherfucker.
Yeah, it's a show from England.
It's from England!
And he forgot to mention Curb Your Enthusiasm if he's trying to talk about stuff HBO was doing a few years ago. I think the show's good.
Just to fucking say that the opening bit with him and Lucy gets stronger and stronger, and that's what annoys me. It starts off as this is why I like to kill this cunt. It starts off as a normal conversation. Why? Things kids ask, and it gets more and more bizarre and honest, and he's answering her honestly about fucking up in school, and it gets funnier and funnier because of the ludicrousness of the answers. Yeah. That's not typically sitcom, you jizzbag. They don't go into that subject matter.
Without describing or knowing what they're talking about, he makes it sound like, just why, with nothing funny being added in.
Yeah, how about saying what the answers are? Why we have a
gun? What are you looking for?
Hey,
what happened?
Are they trying to call him?
Yeah, he tried. Travis tried, right? And left voicemail for reviewer.
Who picks the picture frame to put on?
Let's go to Jim in North Carolina.
Hello, Jim.
Hey, Jim.
Hello, boys.
Hi, guys.
What's up, Jim?
Jimmy Norton, I just don't understand, man. You're a champion of honesty, but a guy writes his review and puts his opinion in there and you slam him.
Yes. I didn't say that he was being dishonest. What I'm slamming is his opinion. Yes, sir.
But he's not allowed to have an opinion?
Did I say, dude, did I say that he should not be allowed to have the opinion?
No, you didn't. But
then why would you even imply that?
Well, okay, what I mean is...
Jimmy doesn't like the opinion.
You're slamming the guy for having an opinion. All of a sudden, he's a fucking cunt just because he voiced his opinion.
No, what I'm saying, I'm thinking he's a cunt.
It seems like this guy doesn't get it.
Because he says things like...
Really get humor in general.
Cheap punchlines and stock situations. What situations are you looking for in a sitcom? Where do you expect to be? There's only a certain amount of locations you can do on a fucking soundstage.
Well, I think more than anything, you want to laugh from a show. And if he didn't laugh... and it's his job to review the show, he's got to say he didn't laugh.
But he did say, I'll admit the bluntness of Lucky Louie made me laugh more than, say, your average episode. And I watched the way he dissected the opening bit, and he's wrong. No. He made it look like it was the same joke over and over, but the thing was the joke built from the beginning, and it got more and more ludicrous. He completely incorrectly dissected the joke. I know because I've seen it.
And it sounds like this reviewer really doesn't want to like this thing. Because it sounds like he liked the thing, but he can't bring himself to actually write that he likes Lucky Louie.
I'm afraid to see the guy who comes out and flat out slams Lucky Louie. If this guy's a cunt, I mean, he ended on a...
Yes, and I will. You know what the problem is, too? These fucking guys have no level of accountability on the fact that nobody ever slams them back. Nobody ever reads their opinion and points out the bullshit in it. I don't dislike a guy if he doesn't think the show is funny. That's going to happen. But what I'm saying is when I'm reading something like this, and he's saying that the bluntness is good, and he's saying, yeah, I did laugh, then why is he trashing it?
Yeah.
He's saying, why is he mentioning the four-letter words? They're not overused.
That's your opinion. Maybe they are. None of us have seen it yet.
Right. Shouldn't critics sit in a room with people that are the target audience of a show and base their writings on their reactions? Because if this guy, let me explain. Because if this guy likes things like Will and Grace or other things, and that's his sense of humor or morality or whatever else it is, he's not going to like the show based on personal reasons and not the merit of the show.
You bring up a great point. I think these reviewers need to start every review off with some of the things they like and dislike.
Yeah.
You're so right.
Tell us what you're into and give us a basic idea of you. Right.
These guys have a lot of power because then you, as just a dopey reader, go, oh, he likes Will and Grace and this and that.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's why he's saying this and this and this review.
How about a movie critic that bashes a action movie that you really enjoyed, and then look at he loves Bridges of Madison County and fried green tomatoes and a big dick in the ass.
Right.
But I mean,
he had no business reviewing that particular film.
Right. At least it gives you some kind of a bearing on where they're coming from before you read the review.
Some kind of viewpoint.
Yeah.
Some kind of
reference point.
reference point.
Right.
Sorry.
Exactly.
Some point. A reference point to go with.
Listen, it's funny. I mean, it's funny you say that. I'm a movie critic full time, and my
so you didn't like the fact that a critic was being slammed because critics never get slammed.
No, you can slam TV critics. They're scum. I don't really care about that.
You see what I'm saying, though? You like the media runs to the defense of other reporters.
Yeah.
You instinctively play devil's advocate for a guy who's a critic, even though I am justifying why I'm slamming his opinion.
Maybe deep down I am, but I'm also concerned about you, Jimmy. I like when you champion honesty. And
I'm not.
Opinion, you attack them.
I am being brutally honest. I am being honest in response. I didn't say he was dishonest, and I didn't say he shouldn't be. You're putting words in my mouth to try and take away from the legitimacy of the arguments I'm making about what he said.
It's getting in the way of my cock.
Yes.
Can we have another cock in the mouth joke, please? In the next 3 minutes, we've only had 642 today.
Let's Tippy Tom's on with Jim from North Carolina. Excuse me, Tippy Tom, go.
Hey, Jim, listen, it's not a matter of him calling him a cunt or anything. The fact is that this reviewer is non-committal to whether he likes it or not. Oh, I laughed, I cried. Oh, this and that. Make a decision whether you like it or not. Yes or no.
Good point, too. Because at times in the review, it looks like he might actually like the show.
Because
can you be anywhere? Can you exist in a gray area between overall it wasn't for me, but I like some things about it?
No, it's a matter of yes or no. If you like your life.
Does it have to be a thumbs up or thumbs down type of thing? Or can you point out, hey, there's some good to this?
Oh, we got a bad one in the Buffalo News, too.
Jesus. All right, well, guys, we got to move on. Thank you, because Jim made freaking jump out a window before 11.
No, we're going to get some bad blood. That's the nature of it. You're going
I've seen nothing but good reviews on this so far. But the Buffalo News by Alan Pergament. I remember this guy. APERGAMENT at buffnews.com, if anybody knows this guy. The same camp, he said something good about it one show, I guess. Let's see. He enjoyed Entourage. Okay. The same can't be said for the charmless, oversexed HBO sitcom that follows it, Lucky Louie. Oversexed? Oversexed. These guys got 4 episodes. Oversexed? What the fuck are you talking about?
What does that even mean?
But it's not oversexed.
No.
Written and created by a veteran stand-up comic. It looks like a typical multi-camera network comedy until the married characters open their foul mouths and hop into bed to engage in some badly performed sex. They have sex, I think, in 1 episode. But you don't even really see nudity between them at all.
Wouldn't a couple like that have badly performed sex?
Yeah.
Too?
And I don't understand.
Isn't that, like, kind of the point?
It's supposed to look like a fucking multi-camera sitcom. Dummy, that's what it is.
That's what it is.
It's about a heavy, balding, blue car. She's a nurse who doesn't understand her body. Okay, the neighbors in the apartment, including a black couple who Louie is insulting and annoying. There are 2 surprising laughs about Jessica Simpson's music and The Greatest Generation in the first 2 episodes. The rest of the time, I couldn't help but wonder why HBO put this series on the air. He's just too vague. I think it offended him. That's my opinion.
It'll offend a lot of people.
Yes.
Which is great.
Yeah.
So Alan Pergament is also a cunt.
Alan Pergament.
Lucky Louie's going to be a hit for HBO. You watch.
No, my problem is this. Critics slam things without impunity, so I want to slam them.
I want to know what Alan Pergament likes.
A Pergament.
What does he find funny?
At buffnews.com.
What does he enjoy? What does he pay to go see when, they never pay
I'm telling you, that's a great point you bring up, because then you at least have that reference point. Lucky Louie's going to be a huge hit for HBO because it has just the greatest lead-in. Entourage is
massive. No, you're right, dude. You're absolutely right.
It does help.
Massive lead-in.
It does help when new shows are looking for an audience. But
no, I didn't say he didn't have the right to his opinion. I didn't say he was being dishonest with either one of these guys. So the fucking guy, don't misquote me when you call, stupid.
And
fucking movie critic.
And don't forget tomorrow.
Snotty douche.
Tomorrow, big appearance. Jimmy's going to be at Tower Records. Anthony and I will definitely be there supporting Jimmy as he signs copies of his HBO comedy.
I thought the appearance was lackluster and potty-mouthed. And Jimmy Norton wasn't very cordial or fun at it.
But why? What I don't understand is this: why are they worried about the language? It's like it's an adult network.
HBO.
It's adult language. Who cares?
It's supposed to have foul language.
But
in
it's irrelevant either way.
Right.
I think the jokes are good. What's the difference with the language? Wow, he's the pussy. It just makes the joke stronger if you can be honest. Fucking. People are so used to that fucking Friends goody two-shoes shit.
Well, let's get them on the air tomorrow.
What they want.
Hopefully we'll get them on the air tomorrow.
Get them on.
Tomorrow's the big day, though. Jimmy's everything it takes to make sure a ton of people are exposed to what we do.
We have a meeting. That's why we're leaving, you assholes.
Well, actually, we might not because we have waiting on the phone and for the guy.
Phone number for the guy.
We'll go a little later.
What happened?
It's waiting.
What?
It's waiting for the phone number.
Who?
Ben.
If we leave right at 11, it's because we have something to do, jerk-offs.
We might have him. Who is this now? The guy from... Oh, okay.
Which
They're
one?
both named Alan, so it's hard to
Yeah,
say.
they're both Allens.
Well,
Hello?
We'll find out.
Hello?
Hi, which Alan is this? Is this Alan Steppenwall?
That's me.
Okay, calling about your review of Lucky Louie in the Newark Star Ledger.
Yep.
What was it about it you really didn't like? First of all, what sitcoms do you like, if we could ask that?
Like a lot of sitcoms. There aren't a lot of good ones on the air right now, but I like The Office. Loved Arrested Development. Love Seinfeld. Seinfeld reruns are pretty much funnier than anything else you can find right now.
Sure. Office, okay. Not really an original concept, though. Did you ever write about The Office and declare that it was stolen from England?
It was bought from England, actually.
Well, whatever, conceptually.
Okay.
No, you didn't. Okay. What was it about Louie that you had the problems with? I mean, I know you're saying, did the language bother you at all?
No, not at all. It's HBO. That's what you expect. And if anything, the language was the one thing I liked about it. I admired the fact that they're not sort of pussyfooting around and trying to show, look how clever we are that we can, talk about sex without actually using any of the words. They come right out and they say it. And that was the part I liked. It's just, I'm kind of tired of set up joke, cute little kid saying funny things, wacky neighbor, etc.
Well, there really isn't that much of that in the show. The thing that bothered me about when you talk about the why scene in the beginning, is I think you analyze it wrong, is the thing that builds in the joke. It doesn't start off funny. It's just a kid asking questions.
Yeah.
It gets a little irritating because she's asking the questions. He's going, why? And then it starts to get more and more ridiculous as he gets more and more honest. So I think you kind of analyze that one wrong.
Okay, opinions do differ.
And don't you think kind of the look and the feel of it is kind of not a parody of a sitcom, but kind of looks that way because it's supposed to look that way, not because it's every other sitcom looks that way?
No, I mean they live in a crappy apartment, which I liked, and I don't know. I expect something better from HBO. That's all. I expect them to sort of look ahead and not look back.
Isn't this very different though than what a lot of you want the same old, another Sex in the City or?
No, I don't want another Sex in the City. I want something that's funny and that's different and that's going to make me want to tune in week after week.
Like The Office. Funny and different.
Like Curb Your Enthusiasm when that was good. Like Entourage now.
Mm-hmm. So you mentioned cheap punchlines. What was a cheap punchline, would you say?
God, I would have to go back and look over my notes. But it's just, I'm so damn tired of the old sitcom rhythm, set up joke. It's like it's this other foreign language that we've all sort of learned to speak and understand, and you see everything coming almost before it does.
So you saw the line when Louie said to his wife, "Your pussy is a chamber of financial ruin"? You don't
that
think that's
particular
a great
line, no.
You don't think that's a
one
great
I
line?
Some sort of psychic abilities to see.
But you know what I'm saying? It's like, you said different situations. How many situations do you expect to be on a soundstage about a family and people that they're around?
But why do we need another show about a family living in an apartment, and the husband wanting sex from his wife? I've seen that 10 million times.
Really? How many shows about...
The addition of the language and actually seeing them having sex doesn't really improve it enough to make me want to stick with it.
You like My Name is Earl.
My Name is Earl is okay.
How many goofy white guy shows do you need? You like The Office. How many shows about people that work in an office? I mean, you understand? You want to go back to Mary Tyler Moore? Or how many situations do you expect to find?
it either has to be different or it has to be really good, and this was neither.
What was Seinfeld? I mean, it was just a wacky. You want to talk about the wacky neighbor? Kramer would slide in the door.
Yeah, and Kramer was the greatest wacky neighbor of all time. That was executed really, really well. This is not.
You think Kramer sliding in the door, making a funny face, going was great?
Yeah.
That is one of the worst. Seinfeld was a very funny and a brilliantly written show, but Kramer was by far the worst part of that show. The wacky neighbor that slid in. How could you think that's funny? That over-the-top nonsense?
Because it made me laugh.
But you're talking about how you don't like the typical wacky neighbor, and now you're praising what is the most over-the-top wacky neighbor in the history of television.
I'm a hypocrite, I guess.
I'm not even saying that to attack you. I'm asking you honestly because I think that I don't understand how you could say one and be so completely inconsistent.
Because when I sit... There's an easy way that I judge a comedy. If it makes me laugh, I like it.
Okay.
Lucky Louie only made me laugh a few times, which is still better than a lot of the shit that's on TV right now.
I agree with. But there was my problem with you is not that certain things didn't make you laugh. It's when you say cheap punchlines. That's irritating because it was actually a very well-written show. You think the punchlines on Lucky Louie were cheap, and yet you find it amusing when Kramer would slide through the front door. You think that's clever or brilliant?
It's not clever or brilliant. It's really good physical comedy.
No, it's not.
Okay, well, see, you didn't like it, I did.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm not the one criticizing wacky neighbors and then hailing that as really funny.
Okay.
You thought Friends was funny?
Yeah, occasionally.
You like Deadwood?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's that? Isn't that just another Western?
No.
Why?
Because it's better written. Because it's not really about gunfights or any of the other stuff that Westerns have traditionally been about. It's about building community.
Uh-huh. So Friends made you laugh.
It's about the evolution of civilization.
Doesn't the language help?
A little bit. I think if it was half as profane, it would be just as good.
You think that show would fly on network television?
Nope.
Right.
So you don't mind the profanity in Deadwood?
I don't mind the profanity in Deadwood. I don't mind the profanity in Lucky Louie. I just said that was one of the things I liked about the show.
No, but you say it's cheap punchlines mixed with four-letter words. You just saw that as something to point out.
But I want to point out the fact that the show, how you put it, like, oh, just another setup joke, and then the sitcom set kind of thing. Well, you know, Deadwood is in essence a Western, but when you put it on HBO and you give it that gritty reality of the language, it becomes something better than what you're describing. And I think Lucky Louie, it's the same situation.
Well,
if Lucky
really
Louie was on Channel 4 or Channel 2 or Channel 7, one of the networks, I don't think it would be, I think it would be just another sitcom. But the fact that it is on HBO, like a lot of people question, oh, why does HBO need to put this on? The fact that it is on HBO makes it that much better.
And the problem, by the way, the criticism I have of you is not that you didn't laugh at certain parts of the show. You didn't that's completely. It's the fact that you're saying something like it's trying to ape Friends, like Friends.
I didn't say it was trying to ape Friends.
No, I'm sorry. Other shows. No. I'm correcting myself. Other shows were trying to ape Seinfeld or Friends. Like those are the two standards of comedy. Seinfeld, very funny show,
no,
but
those
Friends.
Aren't the two standards of comedy. It's just those were the two shows that everybody else tried to copy after they became huge successes.
That's why I'm asking you if you thought Friends was funny.
Occasionally.
Would you laugh harder at an episode of Friends than one of the 4 episodes of Lucky Louie you saw?
If I were to pick the 4 best episodes of Friends, yeah.
You would laugh harder at those?
Yes.
That made you laugh.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
When it was really, really good. It was only occasionally that good.
I've never seen a Friends episode that made me laugh. I just think you should be a little bit more consistent. If you're going to write about The Office, write about the fact you could say it was bought, but it really is a stolen concept. There's nothing original about it, and yet you're not questioning. You're questioning the stock situations of Lucky Louie, and yet you're, again, praising The Office, which is everything about it is taken.
Guys, it's been a pleasure talking to you.
No, dude, I'm Why
did he hang up?
As nice as I could possibly be. And to the guy that said to me, you don't allow somebody their opinion? Okay, I'm not going to question if you don't laugh at this or that. The guy was defending his point. Why would you hang up on that?
He didn't have an answer for it.
But I mean, is my point invalid though about that? If you're going to say something is
down goes Critic, down goes Critic,
dude. I was fine. If you're going to say something, it's like saying I don't like blacks and then fucking a black chick. It's like that's the problem I have with.
All right, we gotta leave right now, or they start cutting up the show for the replay.
Neighbor point.
There's no way I was going to lose that point.
Yeah. Listen, you got.
All right.
Yeah. If we don't cut out, then they start
cut out something really funny.
And then they start cutting up the show to make it fit in the replay.
Faggot hung up the phone. Fucking pussy. No one was cursing at you, dude. No one was yelling at you.
Tomorrow we got a big show, don't we? We got a lot of things going on.
I'll see my Pal Talk friends soon, believe me.
All right, guys, it's been a pleasure. We had a lot of fun today. We're off. We're back to Free FM for a TV meeting.
Let's go.
Thanks, douchebag, for calling in and then fucking hanging up, cocksucker. I used to have your opinion challenged. Douchebag behind a desk. Die.
That's an out. Well, we got some audio.